Hi, this is future Sayuui. I look a bit different now I had my re-debut. This video is a paint over of my community's artwork I made over at my Twitch channel. If you'd like me to make a paint over of your art, join my Discord community and submit your art there, so you can be in the next sessions. Link in the description. First thing I want to point off here is the framing of this drawing. There's a lot of white space right here. Cut that out like this. We know that she's sitting somewhere, but we don't know exactly where she's sitting. So I would definitely add at least a counter or something like that. Like this. I saw that you raised her shoulder so her whole arm would fit this. And it is correct, but the thing is, the shoulder doesn't look very symmetric. And we're gonna fix that. Also, I would definitely make her neck a little bit more delicate, in a sense that I would like take a bit of its volume. And we're also going to use a pencil brush just like the one you used. Gonna add a little bit of shadow here. Alright, now we're gonna fix the shoulder, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring it a little closer to the body so it becomes just symmetrical with the other shoulder. And we're also going to fold her arm just a little just to make sure that it doesn't look very small still. Also, I think if we make this arm a little bit far away from her body, we can also make a very interesting silhouette here. Alright, now that our shoulder is fixed, I will definitely make the other shoulder match. And also, I will fix the curve of the collarbone here. It is a little bit more delicate in feminine figure. Something like this. Let's try fixing the light source here. Where is the light coming from? Sometimes it looks like it's coming from here, but it also looks like it's coming from here. We're gonna decide that it's coming from here for now, okay? Another thing I would like to point out is that it's safer to make a line art in a color that's already in the drawing. So I would definitely pick up a very deep orange to make all this line art if I were to remake this drawing. I'm adding a little bit of light to the drawing because basically light gives you what you should feel about the drawing. Alright, I think that's it. Alright, this one was submitted by Renigma. For this one in specific, I really love it. I think Renigma did a really good job. I took a picture of myself trying to imitate this pose. I couldn't. I realized that it was purposefully exaggerated, okay? He also like added some very cool hatches to the character. I really love it. We realized the leg is going backwards a little. And I tried this exact same pose. I have the picture here. You guys don't want to see it, by the way. But my leg, it didn't go up like this. We're gonna put the leg a little bit lower. And now that we corrected the leg, we have to correct the foot as well. Another thing I would like to point out is that probably this part of the shoe is not going to show up in this other position, okay? It's just going to be the front part of the foot, so it's going to look more like this. And then we're gonna lift the foot a little. You're only gonna be able to see the side of the foot like this. Another thing I would like to point out is that, well, you fill up the characters with a bunch of hatches. If it was me, I would fill up the whole drawing with hatches. You wanted to go with this style for your picture, and I think this would very well fit the whole drawing pretty much, since you were going with this comic style. Her size, it doesn't have hatches, so I'm gonna add them like this. I just painted over the shoe. I screwed it up, my bad. I hope it makes sense. This one is my favorite so far. The first thing I want to point out here He wanted to make as if she had light coming out from this side, but it looks like she has vitiligo. So we're gonna fix that and make sure that it really looks like it's light coming from the upper side. I'm using the add glow layer type to add lights here. And since it's coming from this direction, we want to make sure the surfaces that face it directly are the lighter ones. So whenever we draw a character, it's good to imagine an axis that goes throughout the whole character, like this. So you have the neck, it divides the neck in two. If you have the boobs, it divides the boobs in two. Just like this. So it's good to imagine it so you won't make any impossible torsions in the character. So in this case, I can definitely see an impossible torsion here, which leads to an impossible pose. We're going to fix the impossibilities. So right now we are going to draw that axis again, okay? So if we have the middle of the character's head going this way, we would probably have to go, her boobs to go this way. And this would be the middle part of her boobs. And her torso would be going backwards like this. And imagine that it's going backwards, okay? And it's gonna look a little bit more like this. We're also going to fix this line, this little bit of a line here that probably indicates the end of her neck. Well, her neck, in this situation, it's going to be underneath the head in a way that it doesn't show up much. Let me try to draw the shape of the neck so you guys get what I'm trying to say. Kind of like you already drew, but a little more discreet, you know? It's fixed for the most part, but the thing I'm concerned here is that, is this supposed to be an ear? Because it doesn't look like one. So you have the eye, you divide it into two equal parts. It starts right here. And it ends at the end of the nose, like this. Of course, this happens if you are looking straight into the camera, okay? It doesn't happen like if you tilt your head a little bit. The rules are gonna change a little bit because of perspective and stuff. But this is the basic rule of ears. So we're gonna redraw this ear. Now, about the internal drawing of the ear, it changes, and it's also always good to look at reference to see what it looks like. Every person has it different, so it's always good to see how you prefer to draw it. I believe that if you put your hand in this angle, your fingers are gonna look closer together. There is this space here, and I think I would definitely try to get rid of it like this. There we go. Yeah, so before and after. Before and after. I hope it makes sense. Sign up to my Patreon for my illustration PSD files, early access to my illustrations, exclusive brushes, art learning material, and more. I'll see you there.